Body language expert Patti Wood is with us, not so much for what was said, but how it was said. Patti, when I watch that, he seems so very different than he did in 2016.
You're spot on. And look at he's doing his normal accordion hands, it looks like, but I know that typically he held them further away and had space underneath his arms. The gestures were larger. The compression, holding his arms closer to his body and having that accordion movement be smaller, indicates a lack of confidence. He's pushing to make his statements. He repeats the statements, but the gestures don't really go with what he's saying. That's an advantage of the accordion hands for him in some respects because it's what he does quite often, but it actually makes us feel like something's not quite right. He's not quite on his normal game.
Lehita James, look, he's always used to being on the attack, not on the defensive as he is now in these cases. Lehita James is the prosecutor in New York, the attorney general who's involved in all of these cases. Take a listen to her at one of the press conferences.
The law is both powerful and fragile, and today in court, we will prove our case. I thank you all for being here, and again, justice will prevail.
Thoughts?
Very confident delivery. I loved watching her in the courtroom. There's some great footage in the courtroom where she actually orients her body. She's seated behind him, but she orients her body towards him and does a side glare. And very fast. Oh, there it is. Look at the way she's holding her hands. That is a suppressed desire to fight. There's a fist, a clasped hand, and she's holding it tight to her body. I want to fight. I'm ready to fight, but I'm holding myself back right now. All of that's fascinating.
Yeah, look, she knew she was going to be on camera, and obviously Donald Trump knew he was going to be on camera there as he's sitting there. We'll break down Trump in a second. How much do you make of whether or not Trump and James sort of practice this, right? Especially in terms of sort of how she was going to look, because they both knew there was going to be this moment in the courtroom with cameras before the trial started?
I'm sure she prepared, but most of it, I bet, was preparation not to show everything that she feels. And the way it's just a slight side look and that she's suppressing her desire to fight shows me that she's trying to keep it in, but she doesn't want to keep it all the way in. She wants to put him a little bit on edge. I'm watching you. I'm looking at you.
Interesting. There's been a lot made of the judge here. We're going to play what Donald Trump said about the judge, and then we're going to show you the video of the judge when he realized the camera was looking at him on camera. Take a listen.
This is a continuation of the single greatest witch hunt of all time. We have a rogue judge.
Donald Trump calls a rogue judge there when the camera kind of caught him before the trial began. What do you make of sort of the smile and the taking off of the glasses?
I've got to tell you, it's highly unusual. It's fascinating to me, particularly because I train judges for courtroom decorum.
Interesting.
It tells me that he is gleeful and feels like things are going to go the court's way. I found it really particularly interesting when he took off his glasses, like, I'm going to look good right here. But he is really confident. That's fascinating, and I'm sure that would be very unnerving as the defendant.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're the judge, you should be confident because you get to kind of decide how things go. And given it seems how he feels about things, if you're Donald Trump, that's not necessarily a good thing.
But typically the judge masks. The judge keeps it all in. So to show that happiness, really joyful, jubilant body language, that's so interesting.
Interesting. Would you go as far as to say rogue?
Well, rogue implies that it's unusual or out of the norm, so I could go with that. It's not.
Wow.
I can't say that it's going to affect the case because it's not showing a preference necessarily. It's just showing happy confidence.
Yeah, well, he's made his feelings known in the past. So there you go, Patti. Hey, it's good to see you as always. Have a great weekend. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.